Prophet TB Joshua gave me gold, and this is how he gave gold to me. Good morning and when today. Welcome to my channel. I am your host. My name is Andrew. Yes, welcome. This is going to be our last and final episode of our of my testimony. I hope this is going to bless somebody. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. If you want to get our notification whenever we go live, please just click there on the notification button as well, so that you can be notified whenever we go live. I'm giving you my final chapter of my testimony, what happened to me, what has been happening to me, ever since I started going to Synagogue Church of All Nation. If you haven't seen part 1, I'm going to put part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 on this broadcast, so that you can be helped. Because if you start from watching part 5, it's not going to make sense to somebody, because part 5 is it's part of the testimony that touches me a lot. It's part of the testimony that means something to me. For me, being here, it's a testimony that I'm going to tell you now. If you've been thinking that you have seen or heard, the good part of this testimony, this is the best. But yet, it's very touching. It's very emotional. So if you see me crying, don't worry about me. I have seen it all. So remember, I explained to you how from part 1, how God has been so good to me, how God has been blessing me, how God has been so wonderful. And now we are on part 5. God has been doing all these amazing things to me. I mean, in my life, in my family, and here I am today, and I'm saying you have not seen or you have not heard what God is capable of doing, or what God has done after part 4. So going back to 2016, I can say 2016, yes. So, everything was like 100%. I'm thinking now, business-wise, I'm okay. I'm feeling like I'm stable, everything is moving well, and then all of a sudden something happened. One day, when we talk of Cape Town, we are talking of plus or minus, I don't know how many thousands of cars, but on this fateful day, my 3 cars were involved in an accident, like different drivers, 3 cars, different drivers, all in accident. If you listen on the news there, you will hear there's an accident at such a place, and that will be my car, and they'll announce again another one, there's an accident at such a place, and it's my other car, and it touched me. On that day I was at home, so something dawned in me to say, this accident was not actually, it's not just a normal accident. This accident was actually looking for me. So I then realized that, for me to have this kind of blessing, it's because of my encounter with Prophet TB Joshua, my encounter with God. So what do? So I needed to seek for divine intervention. So I ended up going to Nigeria. That was beginning of 2017. January 2017, I ended up going to Nigeria for that matter. So nobody knew me there. I don't have relatives, not even the ushers. I was going there for the first time. I was just going there for the first time. When we arrived, everything was okay. We are all happy. Everything is moving well. Then comes Sunday. On that Sunday, something was telling me that, Prophet was going to speak to me, but I don't know why. I was sitting in front there, and you would walk and you come close to me, and you would go back again, and I'm looking at this man, I'm thinking, wow, this man is blessed. But what I wanted to hear was something that concerns business. What I wanted to hear was something that concerns what was happening in my business. But when he spoke to me, he said something that I've never told anybody. Not even my wife didn't know about it. I didn't even mention it to anybody, because when I was young, my parents mentioned something that, I was dedicated to God. And, it's something that I just, brushed aside and say, when old people talk, they just talk whatever they want. And then I moved on with my life. And all this while I was telling myself, I don't want to be a pastor. Pastors, they struggle a lot, they fight with people, they cast demons. And I was saying, I don't want to be a pastor. And then when this man approached me, let me tell you that it is a blessing for Prophet TB Joshua to speak to you. Because when he speaks to you, he does not speak to the outside appearance. He speaks to the inside man. When he spoke to me, and I'm going to give you a short clip of what he's saying, and what an amazing experience. I've never had such kind of an experience like that, even up to today. That day is in my heart. I don't know how am I going to erase it, but that day and that moment is still in my heart. So he came to me and he said, you are a promised child. You were supposed to be doing the work of God. When he said that, my heart sank. Everything inside me was changed. When I went to sleep, something happened, because there's another part that I did not, I can say, hear when he was speaking. But when we went to bed, because when we're at Lagos, you sleep in more of a dormitory where everyone will be. And I'm looking at these big pastors, I'm looking at prophets, I'm looking at, like everybody. People were sitting around my bed. So I asked my I can say my friend, the other guy that I was with, I said, what happened? What really happened? Why are these people here? And everyone was saying, no, they want to hear from you. I'm like, hear from me? Hear what? And then the other guy, I think he was from Malawi, he said, there is a part that you did not hear that prophet spoke about. You need to go back and listen to that, so that you can understand. For a moment I thought I was dreaming. But then I realized, this is actually real. My life is transformed. My life is changing right in my eyes. How is this possible? To see your life changing right in front of you. When prophet always say that when you read the Bible, the Bible must also read you. The Bible that I read today, it actually reads me. So the next morning, for some reason, my wife was called, and then all of a sudden my wife is at Lagos, and we are going through deliverance, both of us. It was such an experience that nobody can explain. Nobody can explain. And I assure you, most people that go to synagogue, most pastors that go to synagogue, most prophets that go to synagogue, they want to hear from prophet. They want to have that encounter. Look, that is what we call genuine encounters of God. When we read the book of 1 Samuel, when Saul and the servant met with the man of God, when Saul and his servant met with Samuel, and Samuel spoke to Saul, and his life changed. When he went back, he was a changed man. Listen, when we went back, we were changed people.
You are a promised child.
Thank you, sir.
If you meet your parents, it is a pity there's no one to tell you the story.
Yes, sir.
there's a promise that when they deliver you, they will give you to God.
Yes, sir, it's true.
To be doing the work of God.
It's true, sir.
So you have heard that story before?
Yes, I know.
What are you doing about it?
Yeah, I've been trying, sir, but I don't have a mentor.
You don't have?
I don't have a mentor, somebody to teach me.
Samuel, when Saul and the servant met with the man of God, when Saul and his servant met with Samuel, and Samuel spoke to Saul, and his life changed. When he went back, he was a changed man. Listen, when we went back, we were changed people. We did not advertise for a church. We did not advertise for a ministry. But when we get back to Cape Town, people were waiting for service. And I said, how can this be? How is this possible that somebody's life can be transformed just like that? How is this possible? This can only be God. I went to Lagos with business, thinking business, with a business mind, and I came back a man of God. I came back a pastor. I came back with a congregation, and I said to myself, I remember when prophet was speaking, he said, this is more than God. So prophet actually gave me God. Prophet TB Joshua gave me God. And
you say what we are saying here is more than mineral resources of any country. You go to many countries, like my country, Nigeria, their mineral resources is oil. This one is greater than oil. But this one will never fail. It's from God. And everyone, either you're a Christian or whether you're a Christian or not, everybody is looking for healing. Whether you are a pagan or whatever you are, you say you are atheist, everybody is looking for healing. That is why doctor seems to be our God today.
you know, funny enough, before my wife was called, as I was at synagogue, as I received my prophecy, as my life was being transformed, something happened. We had a nanny that was working for me, that was working for my family. You know, the day that I received my my prophecy, the nanny checked out of the house. She said, "I'm leaving." You know, I asked my wife, I said, "But what happened?" Then my wife explained to me. She said, you know, she once told her, the nanny once told my wife that the late husband was coming to her, like physically. And I said, "But how is that possible?" She said, whenever the late husband is coming to her, she will hear rotten, she will smell rotten meat. And then immediately she will know that the husband is there. When the husband is there, whoever that is present, their appearance will change and will become that husband. Physically. And I said to her, "But why didn't you tell me all along?" And she said, "You know, I thought maybe, you know, it's one of those things." But as my wife arrived at synagogue, she left. She said, I cannot work here again. I am leaving." So you need to be careful as well. Who is working for you? You need to be very careful. Whoever that you are going to employ, make sure that you share the same faith. Make sure that you spend time together in prayer. People that you are staying with, people that you employ, your children, make sure that you share the same faith. You know, and then we come back, and ministry is there, everything is moving. But I want to tell you something. Because most people, they'll be thinking, no, but you came back, a prophet spoke on your behalf and everything flew. It was flowing just like that. Listen, we are fighting spiritual battles. Ever since the beginning of this ministry, it has been problems after problems. Prophet always say, no matter how anointed, no matter how great you are, in the university of God, there are no favorites. You take every course, you take it. People that came to us, people that we found on our doorstep waiting to open ministry, they began to attack us. But we said, you know what? Glory be to Jesus. It's for the glory of God. For gold to be gold, it has to go through fire. For gold to be gold, it has to go through fire. So we went through fire, me and my wife and my family. I remember it was quite a big congregation, and they began to fabricate stories. Some people began to fabricate stories, and the church was destroyed, and 5 people were left. On that faithful Sunday, prophet came out and he was speaking, and he said, it doesn't matter number of people. Oh my God. You might be 5 in number in your ministry, but yet the ministry is more anointed. I felt like prophet was speaking to me, but I was here in South Africa and he is there in Nigeria. I felt like he was talking to me. So 2018, my wife and I decided to go as well, to go again to Lagos, because we have decided to make it a yearly thing. So 2018, we picked our bags, we said we're going to Nigeria. When we get there, our son died, physically death. He died. And we are saying, we've got a lady that has been helping us. She's a blessing to us. She's a blessing to our family. Ever since the first nanny left, she came and she started staying with us. So we said, look, we're going to go to Lagos. If you can take care of our little ones, she said, no, it's fine. She's going to be okay. And then when we left, she phoned us and she was crying, and we said, what happened? She said, you need to come back. I said, it is impossible. We cannot come back. She said, please, you need to come back. The child has died. I said, it can't be. We left the child okay. It can't be. She said, no, we have been to the hospital. On our way to the hospital, the child just died. And we sprayed the morning water on him, and he just came out from the death. It's like the child died, that they had to park the car, and the driver was asking the lady, what can we do now? Do you still need to go to hospital, or do you still need us to go to mortuary? And then she realized that she had morning water, and when she sprayed morning water on the child, the child resurrected. And early in the morning, she was phoning and she's saying, please, come back. Come, please, I can't. You need to come back. And we went to the evangelist there. We told them our story, and we said, if it's possible, we need to go back. And the prophet on that day, he was at the prayer mountain, and they said, look, we need to phone prophet, because the situation back home was very, very serious. So they phoned prophet, and they said to us, just go on the altar and pray. It did not take me, if I say 20 seconds, it's enough. I was on the altar, I was praying, I was crying, tears, it was everywhere. On that altar, I'm praying. I've seen what God can do. And then prophet called back. He said, that child is not gonna die. If we say And that man is different from all the other prophets that I've seen, from all the other people that I've seen. He spoke a word. He spoke a word. One word, and the child came back to life. One word. And that was the same time also that the lady was ministering on water. And I was like, wow, this can only be God. So when we went back, it was like, you are renewed. Your faith is renewed. My faith was renewed from where I was to another level. My faith was renewed. And I'm here to tell you that wherever you are, whatever you are doing, God is aware of your situation. Just believe God. Just believe God. I have seen all these big things, but when I saw this one, I say, God is real. When I saw my child coming out from the grave, I said, Lord, this can only be you. We have never given a testimony at Synagogue Church Foundation. We have never testified. So it means there are also some people that have got testimonies like these that have never testified. And the prophet has never asked that to say, come and testify. Because, when we speak things like this, people, they might think, no, he's trying to make a name for himself. Listen, Prophet T.B. Joshua is a different man. And I don't need anyone to explain to me what I have seen. I have seen it with my own eyes. From God blessing me, from God lifting me, I have seen it. So there is no reason for me to doubt God now. There is no reason for me to doubt God. And somebody will be saying, but for the past 10 years, haven't you even tried to give up? I have. I have tried to give up so many times. But that word that is in me, that word that is in me. I remember at one time I lost it, and I was thinking, now I am a big man. Everything is working well. My business is okay. When the big boy syndrome kicks in, you are finished. Then the big boy syndrome kicks in. Then I started looking at other ladies. That was what caused my accidents. I'm here to tell you, when God blesses you, don't run away from God. He is the one that gives you the blessing. He knows how to maintain it. When God has blessed you, when God has opened doors in your life, do not run away. Remain in God. For He is the one that gives the blessing. He is the one that can actually take the blessing away if you want. You remain in God. Let God take control of your situation. Let God take control of your situation. Thank you so much. I hope this will uplift your faith. I hope this will bless you. I hope this will motivate you to become a better Christian. Until we meet again. Thank you so much. Our ministry is called Love Word, and we are in Cape Town. I'm sure you have seen us somewhere, but I believe if you have not seen us, God is still saying something. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope I will share with you a word probably tomorrow. If I'm not busy, we are busy preparing for our Easter. Yes. If you believe, God will do mighty things in your life. Thank you, and be blessed in Jesus' name.